This is Cipher Mining. They've got, I believe, 4 locations in Texas. They're actually data center companies, but most of what's in their data centers is Bitcoin miners. One of the data centers they have completely owned and they do everything themselves. I think the other 3 data centers they co-locate with other companies in these data centers. Um, this is an earnings play for me. I got turned on to this company mainly because I was looking at my own Bitcoin mining, which I've been doing for about 15 years now, just for fun. And it's starting to get cold here in the mid-Atlantic states on the East Coast. And so we like to take our Bitcoin miners out. This is going to sound funny. We use them in the winter as alternative heating in the house rather than running the big heater. And then it just so happens that all the Bitcoin that it generates has actually more than paid for itself in energy usage over the years. But there have been times where I questioned, why am I doing this? So I just think of them as space heaters that make some Bitcoin, right? Because otherwise you'd just be running a space heater in your coldest rooms and they would just be burning energy. Uh, this has actually paid off in amazing amounts, but it was a surprise, right? Um, anyway, Cipher mining. I'm thinking of them as a play, right? So November 3rd. November 3rd is what? Monday. So today is the day, right? November 3rd, before market open, is when they're going to report their earnings. So we want to look this afternoon. And I've been looking back at Cipher Mining. Now, they've had this huge increase, but Cipher Mining up until now, every time there's an earnings announcement, it just comes and goes. That's perfect for our volatility crush strategy. Now, if you go and research Cipher Mining and can come up with a bias, then error to that side of your strike price. So, for instance, let's take a look at Cipher Mining's option chain. I'm going to pull up our website. Anybody who has access to our indicators, you can also get access to our options lookup tool. And I'm going to go and look at about 10 strike prices. Let's just take a look right there. And what we do is we create a calendar spread. So we're going to pick one strike price, 2 expiration dates. One expiration date about 3, maybe 4 months out, and then the other expiration date as soon as like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You could go to the monthly option, which would be November 21st. That would be just fine. And maybe you're thinking the March option. Maybe you're thinking February. These are trading every dollar. So when you're looking at the chart and this afternoon, if you're going to do this trade, if you think that it's going to have a bias after earnings to the downside, maybe you pick 18 or 19. If you think it's to the upside, maybe you pick 20, 21 as your strike price. And you're going to go ahead and place this cap spread this afternoon and then roll around on Monday morning before the market opens. They're going to release their earnings. They're going to have their conference call. And then when investors come back, what you do is you trigger the selling of your calendar spread when the underlying gets close to that strike price or it gets to that strike price. You trigger the selling of the calendar spread. The only caveat I have here is that we've got a little bit of low liquidity, especially on those back month options. So today you may want to this afternoon play around with some limiters and try to get the best price possible. And that way, if you go with a market order on Monday, you know, you've got as best as you can do. So I really like this trade for a potential earnings trade. And if you don't have confidence in earnings trade, try paper trading it. and maybe we'll come back. We can revisit this and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I wonder how correlated this is to the price of Bitcoin. I would imagine fairly strongly correlated. Yeah.
It doesn't seem that way. It seems more of like a data center, almost AI play. How data centers, AI is causing this huge uptick in construction of data centers. It almost looks like the charts from all the data centers if you were to group them together in a sector or an industry.